Brands Hatch hosts the 7th round of the ever popular historic Formula Ford Championship. Huge grids have been all the way this season, and the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit this weekend is no different. It's a single header at the HSCC Super Prix for the championship. And this is how they will start. It's Callum Grant on pole position, and alongside him will be teammate Max Bartel. The second row, Mark Shaw and Ben Tilley to make it 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Merlins. James Buckton is the best of the rest, ahead of Ben Tusting. Ross Driver, Tiff Liddell, TV personality, will go off 8 ahead of Chris Stewart and Rob Smith. Rob Wainwright set the quickest time in qualifying but was excluded for a technical infringement. He will have to start from the back with a 10-second delay, so watch out for him. Wainwright, of course, one of the championship contenders this season, so we expect to see him fly through the field. It's a 20-minute race as ever, and we can ride on board with 10th place starter Rob Smith for the start. Away they go then, alongside Chris Stewart, who's made a decent start there. They're going to be almost 4 wide. They are going to be 4 wide ahead as they head into Paddock Hill Bend. It's Tiff Liddell on the outside in his Lotus 69. They now charge up the hill, up towards the right-handed Druid hairpin. Much later on the brakes, there is Liddell using his vast experience to go round the outside of Chris Stewart. Now they head down towards Graham Bend. There's Rob Wainwright making his start. But it's Callum Grant the lead, head of Bartel, Shaw and Tilley, the same order as they qualified in the top 4. James Buckton is next up as the field flow through Surtees Bend and head on to the Grand Prix loop for the first time. You then can see Rob Wainwright, he's already gained 2 places despite that 10-second later start. Ross Driver now passed by Tiff Liddell into Hawthorns Bend. Now we head down towards the right-hander at Westfield. It's side by side up ahead between James Buckton and Ben Tusting. Tusting slow off of Westfield, he's losing places there. Rob Smith also going past him, and he's now trying to pass Chris Stewart into Sheen Curve, and he goes down the inside to gain the position. He's done it, so that's him up to something like 8th position. So turn left through Stirling's using all the curves there with Smith, with the 2 leaders getting away now. Grant and Bartel close for third. Mark Shaw and Ben Tilley are nose to tail. Then the train of cars that follow on. But we can ride on board with Tilley, who's challenging Mark Shaw. These two had a ferocious battle at Caldwell Park a few weeks ago, and Tilley now goes down the inside of Shaw to get 3rd position. Clatters the curve through Paddock Hill Bend. He is through, he's into 3rd. Bit further back, Rob Smith chasing. Ross Driver up towards the Druid hairpin. Smith looking to the outside, to the inside even. A late dive, and he goes through. A good move there from Smith. Driver not able to defend. Up ahead it's Buckton and Liddell battling for 5th and 6th. That's a good tussle too. Plenty of battles all the way through the field as ever in historic Formula Ford. The top 4 turn their way through Surtees, chased by Liddell, who's gone down the inside of James Buckton to get that position. Also side by side, Ben Tusting recovering after that slow exit to Westfield last time. He's just gone past Dan Pickett. There's Rob Wainwright then, he's just got ahead of plenty more cars. Meanwhile though, we're side by side as James Buckton goes back round the outside of Tiff Liddell through Hawthorns. A great move there from Buckton. Meanwhile, Kevin Stanzel, he sees some side-by-side action between Andrew Wiggins and Neil Shinner through that same corner. Now down to Westfield they turn. As I mentioned, so much action all the way through the field. Whatever your pace is, you will find somebody to race. Danny stands, and we can ride aboard him. He's now passed by Rob Wainwright, who slides his car, drifts his car through Sheen Curve. Now goes down the inside of the next car on his list. I think that was Gary McVeigh. Into clearway for James Buckton, who's being chased still by Tiff Liddell, as well as Rob Smith and Ross Driver. Great battle that. There's the 4-way tussle behind, being led by Andrew Wiggins. And here's Rob Wainwright now on his charge through the field. He's trying to attack John Slack now as they head on to the Brabham Straight. We can go on board with Slack, the 26 car. They're going to run this side by side down the Brabham Straight in towards Paddock Hill Bend, but much later on the brakes is Wainwright. He slides his way through, drifts his way through Paddock Hill Bend. Wainwright also racing a Formula 2 Crosley this weekend. The Formula 4 Eldon, a very different car, but Wainwright quick in both. This was the moment when James Buckton went round the outside of Tiff Nadell through Hawthorns. However, Nadell made his way back ahead into the Druids hairpin. So Grant and Bartel still 1-2 and pulling away from the Tilly and Shaw battle for third position. And now Buckton back down the inside and Nadell into Surtees. Replicating the move Nadell did a lap ago. But Buckton slow on the exit. Nadell's repassing. Rob Smith coming alongside him. And Buckton squeezes his way through the middle of the two to go round the outside of Nadell again. This time Nadell holds his ground on the inside of the corner to stay alongside as they head into the Westfield bend. The right-hander Nadell on the right line. He goes back ahead of Buckton. Big slide for on-board camera Rob Smith, who's trying to find a space to go down the inside of Buckton. Buckton looking at the outside of Nadell. They all sort themselves out for the right-hander at Sheen. They're the two leaders. Bartel really putting the pressure onto Callum Grant now as they turn their way through clearways. There's Tilly and Shaw in third and fourth. Fifth place, it's side by side still as Buckton re-challenges Tiff Nadell. Nadell holds the line through clearways to stay ahead of Buckton. Next up it's the car of Rob Smith, who's got a really good run on Buckton down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Here's Rob Wainwright, he's now challenging Neil Shinner. Can't quite squeeze his way down the inside, but it's side by side between Buckton and Smith. Smith on the high wide line into Paddock, and Buckton takes the line on the inside. But who's got the better exit? Well, Buckton comes across the circuit to defend. Smith also having to defend from Dryborough, who's trying to go round the outside here, but no, he can't make it. So they all go they got to go line astern once more. It's Nadell in fifth place now, trying to break away. Sixth is Buckton, seventh is Smith, and eighth is our onboard camera, Ross Dryborough. Down the Cooper Straight they go, down towards the left-hander at start. He's looking to the inside there with Rob Smith and James Buckton. He snatches a break, going into the corner by the looks of things. Driver there, sliding out wide. Smith over the curves on the outside of the corner. Now down the straight, down towards Hawthorns they go. Smith had a good run there on Buckton. He's trying to come round the outside, down towards Hawthorns Bend. Yes, the two cars are alongside one another, but Buckton on the inside stands his ground there to hold on to sixth position. But Smith's got a good exit, so Buckton has to go defensive immediately. So Smith goes to the left-hand side of the circuit to take the racing line through Westfield. Can he have a better run off the corner here? He looks to the inside as they go through Dickledale. Has he found room on the inside of Buckton here? No, he hasn't. He has to go slot back underneath him. Leader, Callum Grant. Second is Bartel. Third is Ben Tilley. Fourth is Mark Shaw. So the four Merlin Mark 20s continue to hold out the top four positions. Big gap back to Nadell in fifth. We've got Buckton and Smith. Then we've got Dryborough. We've got Chris Stewart. There's the Coldwell in that battle of Rowan Williams, and Ben Tusting was concluding that battle. Look at Danny Stanswell now, putting the pressure onto Cormac Flanagan out of clearways. You can see Stanswell doesn't have the straight line speed there. He is got engine issues this weekend at Brands Hatch. So Stanswell much further down the order with a lot less power at his disposal. Driver then. See side-by-side action as Rob Smith goes down the inside of James Buckton to take sixth position away from the Eldon driver. There's a car there off to driver's left on the exit of the hairpin. That was Peter Adams in his Lotus. Buckton though re-challenging Rob Smith down into 30s. He goes down the inside. Buckton regains sixth position. Now is it Buckton's car that's smoking there, and it wasn't Rob Smith that locked up on the earlier lap? Well, Smith either way comes back at Buckton out the corner. He's back ahead. What can Ross Dryborough do here? He's looking to the inside of Buckton, but no, he can't do that either. Buckton looking to the inside of Smith. He can't make a way through. Out of Hawthorns, they go down to Westfield now. Great battle in here. The leading quartet certainly not as frantic as sometimes we see, but battling here just outside that leading battle very much so is. And wide out of Sheen curve goes Smith. The Buckton going around the outside through Sterling's Bend. He's done it. So back into 6th position for Buckton. What can Ross Driver now do about Rob Smith? He's looking to the outside into clearways, but no, couldn't find a way through there. And did Driver struggle to find a gear there, and that's allowed both Buckton and Driver to get away. Meanwhile, Danny Stansel has turned into Paddock Hill Bend in his battle with Cormac Flanagan that we mentioned. Up the hill towards Druids, you can see Stansel losing time on power, but then much later on the brakes. Down the inside he went. There's Nadal, then in 5th. Out wide goes Rob Smith. So James Buckton will fight back as they head onto the straight. And look at that, Rob Wainwright is with them now. Under the bridge, they're side by side ahead of Driver. Smith ahead of Buckton now as they go through the right-hander at Hawthorne's Bend. These two changing positions all the time. A bit further back, there's Peter Finnegan ahead of Julian Pearce. Also the Mitchell Run Merlin of Ian Wright at the wheel this weekend. Of course, Sam Mitchell drove that car earlier in the season. He's also won the championship in that car, as has his father Westy. Down the inside of Driver. And Driver slow on the exit, and contact with the car of Chris Stewart that spins to Driver's right. It was Ben Tusting that had gone down the inside of him into Sterling's. And now Rob Wainwright's going to try and find a way past Driver. He's on the inside through Clark Curve. And Wainwright, a fantastic drive this has been from a 10-second penalty at the back of a 30-plus car grid, has now worked his way into the top 10. Down the inside of Driver he goes, as does the car of Rowan Williams. Up the hill towards Druids they go. Now Chris Stewart out the race after that contact. Racing incident, of course, that was, as Driver slow on corner exit. However, Danny Stansel is now trying to find a way past Gary McVeigh. Goes down the inside at Druids. The two cars run level through the corner. Thumbs up from Danny Stansel, and then the power kicks in on the McVeigh car to go ahead of Stansel once more. Smith, Buckton and Tusting now battling, and they're going to all be caught by Rob Wainwright. Further back, who's going to appear next at Surtees? Well, that would be Andrew Wiggins. It's got Shinner, Pickett and Kevin Stansel behind. Not much further back, the Slack, McVeigh, Stansel and Flanagan battle. Kevin Stansel looking to the inside of Dan Pickett for Hawthorne's Bend. He's on the inside line here, but Pickett slices around the outside to stay ahead. They make their way down towards Westfield now. This scenic run around the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Buckton under pressure from Tusting. They're both being caught by a multiple race winner already this season, Rob Wainwright. Tusting a good run there on Buckton. Meanwhile, Danny Stansel is catching very quickly through the corners on Gary McVeigh. He's got the inside line for the Sterling's Bend. The cambered left-hander, and Stansel goes through. Grant and Bartel turn their way through Surtees, with this ever larger gap between them and Ben Tilley, who's just ahead of Mark Shaw. James Buckton turns his way out of Graham Hill Bend and onto the Cooper Straight. He chases the cars ahead of being Tiff Liddell and Rob Smith. You've got Ben Tusting and now Rob Wainwright, who has joined in on that battle. There's Rowan Williams and Ross Driver are behind. Meanwhile, this happened earlier on. This might explain why Ben Tilley has fallen further away from the two leaders, being held up in traffic. So Wiggins, Shinner, Pickett and Kevin Stansel continue their battle. John Slack being closed in by Danny Stansel, and Gary McVeigh has also now lost a position to Cormac Flanagan. Kevin Stansel around the outside of Dan Pickett into Hawthorne's Bend, so he's trying the other side of the circuit this time, and this time it did work. Stansel gains the position. Further back you got Peter Finnegan just ahead of the 2 car, the Lotus 61 of Andy Langridge. Now lapping that slower Gilletta as it's 5-way tussle, and Rob Wainwright has already passed one of the cars there, that being Ben Tusting. Next on his list is James Buckton, who can ride on board with, hugging the pit wall down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Ahead there side by side as Rob Smith tries to go around the outside of Tiff Liddell. Buckton later on the brakes to hold off the car of Rob Wainwright. The best of the Aldens, a battle between Buckton and Wainwright. And now Rob Smith goes down the inside of Tiff Liddell. A big slide as he clashes over the curves with Smith. Nadal holding on to his 5th position for now, but this is a battle which is getting more frantic all the time. Over the curbs, clattering over the curbs there, James Buckton. So they head down the Cooper straight down into the left-hander at Surtees. Through the corner they go, and Wainwright's down the inside of Buckton. He's gone through. Can Ben Tusting follow him through there? And the spin there, the passing the slower car was Rowan Williams. He gets back go and waves his fists in frustration. Side by side, Tiff Nadal just about holding on ahead of Rob Smith. They were side by side heading down towards Hawthorns. And now Rob Wainwright goes down the inside into Westfield to get ahead of Smith. He's quickly dispatching this battle. Only Tiff Nadal to get ahead of now. Wainwright is fantastic to watch there through Sheen curves. He drifts the car through the corner. He carries the speed through there too. He looks to the inside of Nadal, no room there, so he has to back out of that. Smith's got a better run there for out the corner as they head now down towards the right-hander at Clearways to complete the lap here at Brands Hatch. Where can Wainwright find a way past the 40 plus years of experience of Tiff Nadal in the car that he started his racing career in? They run side by side down to Paddock Hill Bend. Can Wainwright use the high, wide and handsome line through Paddock Hill Bend? Yes he can, he goes ahead of Nadal. Can Rob Smith capitalise on this? He looks to the inside of Nadal. Yes, he's going down the inside. He's going ahead into 6th position. 2 places lost for Nadal. John Slack is under pressure from Danny Stanzel here as they head down towards Stirling's Bend. Later on the brakes is Stanzel as he gets used to a much less powerful Formula Ford 1600 than it should be. He goes ahead now of John Slack. Rob Wainwright is coming back under pressure from Rob Smith here. The 2 cars are going to run side by side down towards Hawthorns. Smith had a good exit to Surtees, a good slipstream down the straight, and he's going round the outside, but Wainwright much later on the brakes. The car trying to break away from him, under braking there, but he's back ahead. Meanwhile, Wiggins, Shinner, Stanzel and Pickett continue their battle. Danny Stanzel behind gets very sideways. It's very close between him, John Slack and Cormac Flanagan. John Slack's got a good run on Stanzel therefore. Obviously we know the Stanzel car with engine issues this weekend, and Slack goes ahead. In towards Hawthorns now. Can Stanzel find a way back through? That Bill Cowing Janetta, they're going to lap very shortly. Down into Westfield, and down the inside comes Stanzel. He's back ahead. Wainwright is still under pressure from Rob Smith. Smith has really used Wainwright to pull away from the battle he was once involved in. Tiff Nadal is ahead now of Ben Tusting, who's got ahead of James Buckton. They head on to the Brabham Straight. Max Bartel continues to put Callum Grant under pressure in the lead battle. And then Teddy and Shaw battle for 3rd. Dan Pickett still trying to chase this battle of Andrew Wiggins, Neil Shinner and Kevin Stanzel. They've had a race-long battle. Let's ride on board with Stanzel heading down towards Paddock. He's got a good run. Did Shinner miss a gear? There was a puff of smoke out the back of the car too. So Stanzel gains the position. Down into Graham Hill Bend for Rob Smith. Another car to lap for Rob Wainwright. Smith over the curves. Oh, and it snaps the car sideways. Smith spins down the Cooper Straight. Nadal, Tusting and Buckton fly past him, and now Smith has got to restart the car, find a gear and find a space in the traffic. And that will be behind Ross Driver, will it? No, again the car not selecting a gear, and finally he can get going behind the Caldwell of Rowan Williams. And he's just ahead of the battle, which involves Andrew Wiggins, Kevin Stanzel and Neil Shinner. Shinner's got a good run on the exit of Surtees to go back ahead of Stanzel. But does he? Because the 2 cars now run side by side. Stanzel was using the slipstream of Wiggins there, and now he's looking to the inside for Hawthorns Bend. But no, Wiggins stays ahead for now. There's Finnegan, Langridge, Wright, Pearce, Underwood and Sykes. That's a good battle, isn't it? Nadal under pressure from Ben Tusting through Clearways, and that's the battle now for 6th position once more after that spin for Rob Smith. There's Kevin Stanzel ahead of Neil Shinner and Dan Pickett. They're all behind Andrew Wiggins though as they turn out of Clearways and onto Clark Curve. Further back, John Slack back ahead of Danny Stanzel. And is Stanzel going to come into threat there from Flanagan? Nadell, Tusting and Buckton turn their way through Surtees Bend, head on to the Grand Prix lap. That's Peter Hannum's car they've just lapped. There's Ross Driver next up. Then we have the two spinners, Rowan Williams and Rob Smith. Into that corner now for Kevin Stanzel. He looks to the inside of Andrew Wiggins. He's alongside him here. He's down the inside. He's going through, you'd have to think. But there's still room on the outside that Stanzel is leaving. Therefore, Wiggins is still alongside him. But no, it looks like Stanzel's got ahead. Danny Stanzel really working at the wheel through Surtees. He tries to carry as much momentum as possible onto the back straight, on the straight towards Hawthorns, but of course with that lack of power, him having to wave by the car of novice racer Cormac Flanagan. It's the final lap of the race, and Callum Grant has led the race from lights to flag. He's had Max Bartel chasing him, but that's not affected the former champion, multiple race winner and 2016 potential championship contender. Callum Grant takes the victory then. A win once more this season for Callum Grant. He was a double winner last time out at Cadwell Park, showing the 1-2 as he and Max Bartel of course run under the same outfit. Battles all the way to the flag though. You can see that battle further back that are running side by side, as is Chip Liddell and Ben Tusting for 6th position. Can Liddell hold on to that position? They are nose to tail. Tusting really looking for a way past Liddell, and Rob Smith has caught Rowan Williams a quick couple of laps from Rob Smith. He's been quick all the way through the race, hasn't he? It wasn't for that spin, he would have certainly been finishing in 6th place. It's going to be nose to tail to the flag, but it looks like Williams will hold on to Smith. Yes, he does. How about this then? The battle towards the rear of the field that have been raging all the way through is going to go to Ian Wright by the looks of things. Let's have a look at that result then. Callum Grant won by just 1/3 of a second in the 12 lapper ahead of Max Bartel. Then it was Ben Tilley to complete the podium. He got the fastest lap also. Mark Shaw chased him all the way. Rob Wainwright took 5th after that great run from the back. Chip Liddell was 6th, just holding off Ben Tusting by 16 thousandths of a second. Next up was James Buckton, Ross Driver and Rowan Williams who complete the top 10 ahead of Rob Smith. Kevin Stanzel won that battle for 12 ahead of Wiggins, Pickett and Shinner. John Slack held off Cormac Flanagan and Danny Stanzel. Stephen King was next up. Peter Finnegan and Julian Pearce pulled away from Ian Wright, Andy Langwood, Jeff Underwood and Harvey Sykes at the end. And Steve Greenwood, Peter Hannum and Bill Cowing were all lapped. Next up we head to the Crofton Nostalgia Festival for Alton Park, Brands Hatch again and then Silver.